Hello everyone and welcome to another best of 3 in the Intel Extreme Masters Season 1 group stage. We're finally heading into Group D, and this first match is going to be a Night Elf mirror played on Tarina stand, with the player spawning in the top left spawn position being LiiLD.C, the Swede, starting with an Ancient of War and the Moonwell in the beginning, and his opponent from Denmark, ThomasG, doing the same thing, Altar and Moonwell. Looks like he's gonna head out for the Ancient of War to do an Ancient of War creep eventually, and a very early scout here by ThomasG, and he's even gonna start with an Ancient of War inside of his opponent's main base. So with that one, of course, he's gonna wanna be aggressive early on. Altars are soon gonna finish. Pretty odd placement of this Ancient of War by LiiLD.C. Maybe he saw the Wisp coming in because he had his Scout Wisp out pretty early on as well, immediately putting that one into lumber production, as I'm assuming he's gonna want to get archers as well as his second Moonwell as quickly as possible against that kind of stuff, DH against DH. And maybe, you know, he saw the Wisp coming in and maybe expected him to try and cancel the Ancient of War here, so he didn't build it there. So he decided to build in front of the shop, but also a little bit further away to just not enable ThomasG to get the cancel there if he pulls the creeps. But he didn't do so at all. ThomasG didn't scout at the top at all. He just went to build this Ancient of War in the middle of the Night Elf base immediately. Now uprooting, and it looks like he's gonna move up to the second Moonwell to you know, do as much damage as he can, since of course that one is gonna take more damage while it's being constructed. Ancient of War now coming for ThomasG as well as the second Moonwell. DH is about to be out. I mean, he's gonna head across the map. He's gonna have nothing except the DH and the Ancient of War, so what else should he be doing? Demon Hunters coming out, first Archers coming out, and yeah, actually LiiLD.C, rather unimpressed apparently, is going for the creeps immediately, doing some nice stop micro here with his Ancient of War to stop him from hitting this Apprentice Wizard again. So the Demon Hunter is getting the full XP. ThomasG heading across the map. Well, Cloak of Shadows, not exactly what he was hoping for, I imagine. And right now, Demon Hunter apparently doesn't want to take the fight against the other Demon Hunter plus one Archer, which of course he's going to lose. Actually now LiiLD.C splitting his army, going for the first bit of damage against his Ancient of War with his Archer, in the meantime repairing with the first Wisp. And in this battle of Demon Hunters, it's just gonna be about who's gonna get closer to the maximum damage, who's gonna deal more damage, who's gonna deal less damage. And at the moment I'd say it looks a tiny bit better for ThomasG, but now the Archer is coming in for the support and he's immediately turning around. In the meantime, the Moonwell actually taking tons of damage, so one Wisp definitely not gonna be enough. Maybe you should pull this one, you know, here to continue the repair. Actually pulling a low HP Wisp, but you know, Demon Hunter's not around. He had to go back, had to use some healing. But then again, this Ancient of War is gonna last for a long time. I'm assuming that Demon Hunter's not gonna wanna fight it one straight up. Actually, maybe does. Oh, that's very nice by LiiLD.C. Always just after the Ancient of War is hitting the Moonwell, just going in for the Demon Hunter with one hit. So he's abusing the, you know, attack cooldown here very nicely. At least he did. Now he's not paying attention anymore apparently. Okay, now he's doing it. Yeah, doing it again. Of course, very micro intensive to do that while macroing up. Let's see, he's not getting a Hunter's Hall so far. Only at 2 Moonwells. In the meantime, this Ancient of War has been finished. 2 Archers out for LiiLD.C. For ThomasG, of course. He found the Slippers, of course, better than the Cloak of Shadows. 3rd Moonwell coming. And no Hunter's Hall for him as well. Never mind, there's the Hunter's Hall. Tech-wise, yeah, this is just in time. Shop coming now for LiiLD.C. For him, still no Hunter's Hall, at least for now. Second Ancient of War coming down here in front of the Mercenary camp, so he's gonna have a lot of creeping potential with these 2 Ancients of War eventually. I mean, he can move this one towards the Natural Expansion if he wants to, or towards the Goblin Laboratory. Or did the Demon Hunter get Claws of Attack? So yeah, some very nice item drops for ThomasG so far. Wind of Illusion, well, maybe in late game bear fights he can use it, but at least for now, for the next couple of minutes, it's not gonna be of any use to LiiLD.C. And he actually roots down this Ancient of War very quickly again. Continues producing archers. He's at 5 already. Getting a 6th one. Still no Hunter's Hall for him. So he's definitely gonna stick with no Ancients of Lore. So probably Archer's Talents. Or some huge Archer push soon. We'll see about that. Okay, Archers. And he's actually getting the upgrade down here. So he's not able to creep. Okay, now he's cancelling it. And where's the other? And getting it up here in the other Ancient of War. So I guess he had both of them on the same group and just accidentally got it into production at the wrong Ancient of War. In the meantime, double Ancient of Lore and 1 shop for ThomasG. Second hero choice is the Naga. And the Demon Hunter with the replenishment potion he found here. He's got a very nice item for the Demon Hunter who's at very low HP right now. Potion of Greater Mana for LiiLD.C, who's trying to catch up XP wise here. Wants to get level 3 as well. The Illusion, well, saw a little bit here. Not sure if he checked the main as well. No, he didn't. He just went straight down here.
Warriors of the Night.
Demon Hunter is level 3. And Priestess of the Moon second for LiiLD.C. Getting the Staff of Preservation immediately. He's getting no Ancients of Wind whatsoever. He's gonna go pure Archer and Mercenary probably, which is the Forest Royal Berserker at the moment. And all the archers at the moment plus 2 damage. He's got the range upgrade finished, and it's gonna be the Demon Hunters who are taking the damage at first. First archer for ThomasG's in trouble. The Demon Hunter at the same time taking plenty of damage. He's got the heal potion though, so he can tank a little bit more. The Forest Royal Berserker probably is gonna be staffed here by the Priest of the Moon, which is what's happening right now. Maybe he should have given that staff to the Demon Hunter so he could give it back right now to the Priestess and then staff the Demon Hunter out. But then again, once the Demon Hunter is out of the fight, at least of those kinds of fights, it's always looking horrible for the player without the Demon Hunter. So heal potion right now used by ThomasG. The staff has been passed and actually used onto the Priest of the Moon to save that one. How much is he gonna lose while TPing out? Only 1 more archer, so that was pretty even, I'd say. Not really much happening. I guess ThomasG losing a slightly greater amount of units, but then again he didn't invest into this kind of archer army at all. Like, he got a couple of archers, I guess, to not die against an all-in expansion coming after this by LiiLD.C, by the way. But, you know, he's going into bears, but that's gonna take a long time. He just started tier 3 right now, so that bear army is a long way off, and hopefully for ThomasG, the advantage LiiLD.C is gonna be able to get out of this game. He's definitely going to be able to get an advantage out of this game in the next, say, 2-3 minutes. It's not going to be big enough for the game to already be basically over. Let's see, economy-wise, macro-wise, still nothing else but archers and a Forest Royal Berserker. Demon Hunter with 2 heal potions, no town portal though, so that would be very risky going in there, you know, to deal a potentially game-ending blow to his opponent. But then again, he wouldn't need the expansion if he tried to do so. So LiiLD.C just falling back for now, which of course gives ThomasG more time to get his bear army in place. He continues creeping, wants to get, you know, level 4 on the DH eventually, because he's gonna be the main tank of this army, so level 2 evasion is definitely gonna be of great help. Archer even being staffed right now, just too lazy to micro apparently. And ThomasG, surprisingly enough, is getting aggressive here. Ancient of Wind added, which is definitely a requirement once his opponent gets a certain critical number of bears. First heal potion is gonna have to be used on a Demon Hunter, using it just in time here. Second, no, it's the first bear still in the battle here, using the rejuvenation on the DH. Did he pass the staff? He does pass the staff. Gonna be able to use the moon juice again, and that's gonna be enough to force the DH out of the fight for now. But another rejuvenation coming in on him, which is gonna give him a lot more HP, a lot more survivability, and he's going for the DH again. Second heal potion already used by LiiLD.C, reproducing or even producing a second Ancient of Wind right now. I mean, if he gets that expansion in place, he's gonna be able to easily support that. Ogre, Mauler and Mud Golem for LiiLD.C as well, so he really feels the pressure rising here, even though there's not even Master finished yet. But the Demon Hunter with Rejuvenation is so powerful. Mana burn actually too weak, as there's only 24 mana remaining on LiiLD.C's DH. Now both the Demon Hunters had to be staffed, and Naga's probably gonna get out of there alive. Because no more slow for her. Tree of Life is up right now. And ThomasG has seen that with Naga just passing by here, so he at least knows about that expansion. 3 bears out, tier 3 finished in the meantime. He's got Master already, 4 bears out actually. The Naga gonna join the rest of the army. Demon Hunter got a town portal. He's got very, very nice items, plus 17 damage and 2 staffs by now, so he doesn't need to pass them around anymore. Same time, first Talon is only out. I mean, against Master Bears you basically need Master Talons to just on the one hand, of course, take a bit of the damage output away with Cyclone. On the other hand, also basically dispel or cancel rejuvenation with Cyclone, which is very important because, as you've seen, it's so powerful on the Demon Hunter. But he doesn't have Master for now. He only got Initiate. He's Scroll used as well as the Wand of Illusion. The bears are coming in. He's going for the Forest Road Berserker first. Actually, maybe focusing that one a little bit too much, wasting a lot of damage output here with all his bears. The Demon Hunter taking so much damage, and it looks like LiiLD.C is just gonna try and force the town party immediately. Staff is on the Naga, but she's very much out of position. Demon Hunter is gonna survive though, thanks to rejuvenation. Now the switch is going on the bears. First one has been staffed, second one has been killed. But the other ones have to pull back. Another bear been staffed, and it looks like the damage output is enough. He decides to go for rejuvenation onto the bear instead of the Naga. So that might cost her life, but nice blocking by ThomasG, turning around there with the Naga for a second. But the Demon Hunter, is he gonna get in range? He doesn't have Boots of Speed. Another bear coming in for the block, but he screws up blocking, and there is plenty of mana on the Naga, so a mana burn should be enough to take her down. And that's what's happening level 4 for LiiLD.C's Demon Hunter. And that wins LiiLD.C a ton of time. The expansion is definitely gonna come into play here, which is not at all what ThomasG is gonna wanna have in this game. So 49 supply already for LiiLD.C. He's gonna bank a little bit, I'm guessing. Got the double Ancient of Wind, of course, so plus still I think 2 Ancients of War, or did this one? Oh no, this one marching up here. So he still has 2 Ancients of War, 2 Ancients of Wind. So he can get, you know, protective items on his heroes since they are completely ran out of them, and then eventually break into upkeep. But he did already break into upkeep with those first couple of wisps. Does he have okay, he barely has any lumber wisp. He basically has to go into upkeep to continue producing wisps here. We'll just keep an eye on that one. At the same time, ThomasG is creeping his expansion as well, of course being seen by his opponent thanks to the Fairy Fire. Demon Hunter gonna work his way towards level 4. The Priest of the Moon with the rest of the army is coming in for the creep check, so now it's the time of LiiLD.C to not allow his opponent to basically get anything done. The Ancient of War is gonna be picked out. The bear is probably gonna survive here. Yeah, it's gonna survive. And where's the H of LiiLD.C? Also coming in already. Yeah, he bought some items as expected. 1 heal potion, 1 heal scroll, lightning shield going on the archer, which is a bit annoying, but you know, he can just micro her out. Definitely capable of that. Ancient of Wind also added by ThomasG right now, which you know, with fairy dragons with the flare form against the Talons is definitely a help. Still no upgrades on those Talons. I'm a bit surprised about that. He's just going tier 3 right now, so I'm guessing he's gonna want to add those eventually. Not really sure if it's the greatest idea to fight against the main base of ThomasG at the moment, but then again, he doesn't have to. He can just, you know, pin his opponent down to his base if he wants to, but he doesn't have to actually commit to anything at the moment, of course, since his expansion is the one running. And yeah, he's broken into upkeep, onto low upkeep already. What's he getting? More archers at the moment, plus some wisps, of course. So this position is actually very narrow, so I feel like he could have stayed in there to just snipe out a bear or two, but then again, at the same time, the Talons down here took plenty of damage already to the flare form. You know, this little mana burn thingy, the mana flare, exactly, and the fog lightning by the Naga of ThomasG. So I guess he could have pushed his luck there a little bit, but you know, why not play it safe if you're at an advantage already? Up by 13 supply right now. Still only 1 staff on him, but of course, if he's able to properly pass that staff, then he can make as much use of that one as he could of 2. And he's adding hippogriffs against the fairy dragon here, which seems to be a pretty smart choice. 2 fairy dragons, 2 hippos out on the map right now. And let's see, ThomasG going for the Tree of Life at first. I'm assuming he's not gonna get that one. It looks like he's just gonna try and go for the snipe, but this might be a horrible mistake. He's gonna be forced to town portal, and he's not gonna get anything out of it. 1 hippo is gonna fall, alright. Against 1 bear though, and the town portal, so that was definitely not worth it, putting ThomasG in an even worse position than he was before. But at the same time, his Tree of Life is coming up. Well, it's at least in production. Not that sure whether it's gonna come up. Another 4-star Berserker bought by LiiLD.C, maintaining his supply advantage. Let's see, Demon Hunter. Did he just rebuy that town portal? I'm assuming he did, and maybe the new heal potion. Some more creeping being done. None of the heroes gonna get a level up anytime soon. And now the Hippogriff sees the upcoming expansion, and that is going to trigger LiiLD.C marching in there to try and cancel it. ThomasG is in position already. He's got 3 bears, 2 dryads, 2 fairies, 2 heroes against plenty of archers and talents, as well as 1 hippo only, apparently. Alright, and now he's getting the upgrades for the talents. Adept upgrade in production already, of course. The crow form isn't gonna help him too much at the moment, and maybe he's just gonna fall back and wait for that to finish. So he's gonna let that counter expansion come up, which, you know, might eventually pay off for ThomasG, but he's got a bit to go until that's the case. 1 talent gets picked off here for free. Of course, Demon Hunter with those items and with the boots and with level 4 right now, of course, a force to be reckoned with. The Ancient of War also is gonna help a bit in potential upcoming fight, but then again, ThomasG, I'm not sure if he's really willing to push at the moment, since he's just about to get his counter expansion into the game. So it looks like he might just creep the mercenary camp on his side right now. Pitlord 3rd, interesting addition. I mean, he's gonna do Fairy Fire against those guys, and he'll get mana burn bonds, and then he's probably gonna be out of mana. Is my theory. Maybe he'll be helpful at least a bit, because, you know, he might just force some repositioning of those ranged unit ones. So yeah, we'll see how well he's gonna do in upcoming fights. Back then, actually, the Pitlord not completely unused, like you know, like these days. Even though, like, these days he's used in Undead against Orc once in a while. Back then, against that kind of mass ranged unit compositions, you know, people tried using him, but eventually he completely got out of fashion in games like these. So TP is on the Demon Hunter. Not much else in terms of items. LiiLD.C pulling back for now. We'll see if he's going to be ready to commit to a fight. He's got Master Bears, Master Talents right now. Master Bears, of course, on the field for a long time. And Town Portal coming in as this Priest of the Moon is completely outpositioned. So not willing to commit to a fight yet. And ThomasG, look at the supply. He caught up. He's at 67 against 70. LiiLD.C very, very careful in choosing his fighting positions. I mean, of course, on TS there are plenty of positions where it's really hard for bears to, you know, to get in a good angle against all these ranged units. The Ancient of War is getting into position right now. Okay, protection scroll board, second heal scroll for LiiLD.C. On the other side, no new town portal. A mountain giant actually added by ThomasG. And no other items except for the anti-magic potion, which is of course going to prevent mana burn as well as cyclone from happening. So he's gonna have 15 seconds to do as much rain of fire as he wants to. Which, of course, 15 seconds in a Warcraft fight is a long time. So Mountain Giant's coming in first. Rain of Fire completely mispositioned here, cancelling immediately. Scroll of Protection used by LiiLD.C. First Bear is in a bit of trouble. Gonna be taken down right now. Demon Hunter is also taking a bit of damage already. Level 4 on the Priest of the Moon. The next Bear is in some trouble. First Archer's now falling. This Rain of Fire is positioned a little bit better, but not doing all that much damage. The Mountain Giant is about to be taken out, and the majority of ThomasG's front has already fallen. It's 46 against 76 supply, and there's the GG by ThomasG. LiiLD.C taking the first game here. Gotta say, very good decision making in terms of when he's taking his fight. Very carefully played after, after defending his tier 2 expansion in the mid game with a huge load of archers. He was at an economy advantage for the longest time, and once the counter expansion was coming by ThomasG, he didn't rush it. He just fell back. He finally got his upgrades on the talents, which is crucial, of course, against a tier 3 Night Elf who's going like bears, and even the Mountain Giant here and Tri-Hero, and waited for his Ancient of War to come in there as well. And then in the end, I think very convincingly finished the game. He got a lot of items as well, which I guess was the reason why ThomasG was able to get so close in terms of supply. But actually in the end fight, not really too much of a chance for ThomasG. So that's the first game. Second game is going to be Echo Isles, and we're gonna see that coming next.